Good afternoon, everybody. Cut that out because you're not supposed to say everybody. You're supposed to say good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. My name's Tom. I'm an attorney who specializes in the marijuana industry. And every week, I donate an hour of my time to answer your questions about doing business in America's most legitimate cash-only industry. If you have any questions, please find us on Facebook. It's facebook.com/freethc and ask us your cannabis industry questions. This week's question was, should I invest in marijuana stocks? Let's get to it. Remember, you can always Google Tom Howard marijuana if you want to see who's putting these things on. So should you invest in marijuana stocks? I hear some guy just made a boatload of money betting on marijuana stocks. I also hear from another guy that Cronos just became the first cannabis stock listed on the NASDAQ. What does that mean, listed on the NASDAQ? How is that different than being listed on like the NYSE? Or is there any other DAX? Yes, there's DAX all over the world. Most marijuana stocks aren't listed on the NASDAQ, and none are listed on the New York Stock Exchange. The SEC has not yet allowed it. Where are they mostly listed? They're mostly listed in Toronto. So you'll see a lot of the cannabis stocks with the ticker TSE, Toronto Stock Exchange. Why is Toronto letting these people register these stocks and trade them? I don't know. Maybe because Canada actually has legitimate plans to legalize and they want to provide financing to these companies. Most of these other stocks are purchased at what they call the OTC. And what is the OTC? Well, pretty sure the OTC means over the counter. And some stocks that are traded over the counter, that's like it is. It's the Wolf of Wall Street. It's your penny stocks, man. So when you have a stock that trades between, maybe you didn't know this about the cannabis industry lawyer. I graduated from law school in Marquette in 2008, and then I became a stockbroker because I fell in love with the options pricing algorithm. Like you do. It's a gorgeous little, anyway. So that was bad timing. It was bad timing. It was amazing for watching the volatility there. That algorithm just made a lot of money. Of course, I had a lot of debt. Almost don't. Almost. So OTC stocks, it's your penny stocks, your Wolf of Wall Street stocks. You really are playing a sucker's game if you think that you're going to be able to invest and win at marijuana stocks or really any stock market. I mean, that's why Ray Dalio's right there. Do you know who Ray Dalio is? You should. If you don't know who Ray Dalio is, and I understand it says Google Tom Howard marijuana. Take another second. Google Ray Dalio. Even Ray Dalio couldn't pick him. And he tried to bet way too much when he was in his 30s, and that's why he started Bridge Capital, Port Bridge. I really need to have better... Oh, me and Ray Dalio, same problem. Terrible rote memory. Let's see, Dalio. And it's a restaurant. Damn it. Bridgeport, New York? Bridgeport, Connecticut. Bridgewater. So it's Bridgeport, Connecticut, Bridgewater. Great. So that's his hedge fund. Check it out. It's pretty freaking sweet. And his book on principles is also really freaking sweet. So if you want to buy marijuana stocks, go for it. Lose your money. What about these listed stocks? There's a difference between listed stocks and unlisted stocks. Listed stocks are things that you can get in and out of. So if I'm going to buy Amazon, for example, I can sell it that fast. I can buy it and I can sell it. A lot of these marijuana stocks, you can't buy and sell. You can't get in and you can't get out. You might be able to get in, but getting out is a lot harder because they're extremely illiquid. They aren't very well traded. So if you get it at $1 and it goes up to $2, but you can't sell it, great. So what are marijuana stocks most likely going to be? Probably eventually they will be what Constellation Brands is, and Constellation Brands has kind of started to get into one of the marijuana stocks. Constellation Brands makes beer, so they're basically going to be beer stocks. Do you really want to invest in a beer stock? Is there going to be like an Amazon of pot? One stock to kind of rule them all? Probably not. And why do I say that? Because with beer, and beer does have, Budweiser, BUD, fine stock, I guess. It's basically a commodity. So Amazon's not a commodity, and nor is Amazon having to be faced by every state's regulatory board. So if all the states maintain a certain amount of regulation, it's going to be very or more difficult for the type of consolidation that you have, where you have one company that's ruling them all, especially if there's state regulations that prevents those types of things. But, a little premature, a little cart before the horse here, you still cannot trade them. At least on the legitimate stock exchanges. You can trade them on Toronto Stock Exchange. Now, the Toronto Stock Exchange isn't legitimate. All right, so let's talk about some of the actual stocks. I can't dissuade you from buying them, so let me just tell you which ones are popular, and you can go ahead and spend money on buying them. If you can figure out how to access the TSE, the Toronto Stock Exchange, if you can, great. You can get Canopy Brands. Now, that's the one that, Canopy is the one that Constellation Brands invested in. Its ticker is WEED. How original. Ticker is WEED. I can't believe that. They really had to think on that one. And then again, they all are OTCs. You can't buy WEED. I've never tried to buy it in E-Trade. Maybe you can. Can I buy stuff on E-Trade from the TSE? Bridgewater Port. Trading marijuana stocks on E-Trade. I knew there would be an article on it. Now I'm going to leave this link. It fucking loads. In the comments. No, it's not a comment. It's called the description section. GW Pharmaceuticals. Don't buy GW Pharmaceuticals. GW Pharmaceuticals is, from what I understand, one of those Marinol or Sativex kind of like sprays where they just take the marijuana and they strip it so it's pure chemical. And then, THC, CBD, probably a whole bouquet of them. I'd have to look up GW's. Axiom, CV Sciences, OTC. So yes, you can buy these things on E-Trade. According to this. Is it too late though? Have we already gotten into the pump and dump? You understand how stocks work, right? Well, if you don't understand how stocks works, let me explain it to you real quickly. There's a rumor, and this thing that's trading at $1 suddenly goes up to $2, $3 because of that rumor. Did you hear how it's going to totally revolutionize everything? And it's going to be legal. And everybody who's getting in is getting in. Bitcoin, man, it's changing everything. Same thing. Same type of pump and then dump. Bitcoin went up to 20,000 and then it went down to 6,000. So, are you already too late? Have we gotten into the pump? You see, this is the price of, this is the, one of the marijuana ETFs. It's HMMJ. And I'm not, it's an ETF, so it's a hodgepodge of a lot of the different marijuana stocks. So it's a penny stock on a penny stock. And it went from 10 back in November of 2017 all the way to 25, man. It's going to keep going to the moon. It kind of consolidated here, right? Let's keep telling us a story that we want to believe. We're so greedy, we want to invest in it. Or this could be a classic pump and dump. It does have a pretty decent dividend yield, though, 3.26%. I guess I could lose. Maybe it'll trade back down to 10. Maybe it'll trade back down to 7. And the way that I would play that then is I would define a range as to where I would buy. Stocks are kind of like women. You don't want to chase them. It doesn't work very well. So you just make sure that you put in an order that you're going to be happy with. If I would have done this with Baba earlier, I would not be sitting on Baba going like, really, Baba? You're getting, Amazon's crushing you too? I thought you were the Chinese Amazon. Why aren't you outperforming? But anyway, that's a pump and dump, and maybe it is a little too late for you. Maybe it's a little too late for you. So let's go with the takeaways here. Takeaways on your marijuana stocks. First, they are not listed on major exchanges for the darn most part. Why? Well, let's talk about the Securities and Exchange Commission. They also prefer not to allow stocks like amalgamated cocaine, confederated prostitutes, and then maybe there's also how about Acme child laborers? These are not legitimate stocks because the SEC isn't going to allow a human trafficking trading company to be listed on a legitimate exchange. I don't know, man. I'm really going to buy that amalgamated cocaine when it comes out in the market. It's legal. No, it's not. It illustrates how ludicrous a lot of this is while marijuana is still a Schedule I substance. There's not going to be any United Heroin Co. that's out there. It's like, oh man, I really got to pick up some of those heroin stocks. I understand how tragic it is with the legitimate pharmaceutical stocks that made all these opioid drugs that addict and kill our citizens, but that's those were legal drugs. When there's illegal drugs or illegal other actions, how does your business make money? We sell illegal drugs. Okay, you can list on the NASDAQ. No, you got to be careful about that. You might have had a pump and dump. It's really hard to trade because you're not allowed to have a listed stock. There's regulatory risk. Let's say Canada doesn't go legal as quickly, and so these speculative bets based on Canadian, and Canada is only like a tenth the size of America, Canadian laws that haven't gone into effect yet. They might roll back, and then there's the real dump, and you might get a great chance for your buy order to be filled if it was a good till close. Usually 2 months they're open for, and if they totally sold off, and then maybe you could actually get in. Of course, it might really be hard to get back out, and it might still continue to sell off. That's the problem, and that's why greed isn't necessarily good, but greed is definitely blinding. So, my name's Tom. You might not know it yet, but I'm a cannabis industry lawyer. This is my YouTube channel, and I would like to thank whomever asked this question. The next one's already been asked, so somebody has got one of these coming to them. And if you have any questions as to the operations of the legal cannabis industry, please leave them below in the comments, or send us a message on Facebook, or direct message us here. And if we answer your question, you get your own copy of USV Yerbas or Satan Smoke. Just let me know which one you want. We're A/B testing it in real time. This one you can actually buy on Amazon if you would like. And I'll see you, especially you, next time.